We've therefore explored how we can insert shapes and manipulate those shapes to suit our needs. What we now need to do is explore how those shapes can interact with text. After all, Word really is meant to be a text-based tool, and you're likely to be creating text-based documents and adding these shapes to them. So if we were to take our access manual and just at the beginning of this first paragraph, insert one of our many shapes. Shall we go for a smiley face? So click and drag out a smiley face. Now at the moment, you can see there's no interaction between that smiley face and the text other than it distracts from the text. However, there is a little pop-out symbol that allows us to control how that shape interacts with text. We could choose to be in line with the text, in which case the shape appears on the page and you can see that the text just continues along that line. So effectively this smiley face is sat on the same line as the Word database. Or we can wrap. So we can wrap square, in which case the text goes around the shape. Tight, so it gets not just around the rectangle of the shape, but to the shape itself. So you can see it curves around the edges of the circle through the shape. Now that really only works if we move the shape into the middle of the text. Top and bottom. So again, let's just move it into the paragraph. There we see the wrapping is above and below, but there's nothing on each side. Totally behind, so the shape goes behind, or totally in front, so the shape is in front. Now obviously, neither of these options really are very suitable if we want the shape to be there and have some text wrapping but not interact, like distract from it. It's going to be really one of these three choices here. So let's go with the square and move the shape over to the right here. And you can see that as we resize the shape that we know how to do, text then wraps up closer. So that's text wrapping square, tight gets a lot closer. You can see the of has then appeared here, through, or above and below, which doesn't really suit this particular item. I'm going to go with the square option, making sure that move with text is selected so that if this text paragraph moves down the page, the smiley face will go with it. If I say fix position on the page, then the smiley face will stay here, even as the text starts to move away from it. So it depends whether the shape you've placed here is appropriate to the paragraphs that it's next to, or whether it just needs to sit on this page at this point forevermore. Now these same layout options, if I close that, are accessible from the Drawing Tools format context sensitive ribbon, and you can see we have wrap text, which has the same options: square, tight, through, top and bottom, go behind, come in front. We even have the ability here to edit the wrap points, which will actually allow you to control how close to an object the text can get. So here I can actually get it right up to the text by bringing the wrap points within the shape, so inside the shape. Just by dragging these little black rectangles in will make the text wrap a lot closer to it. So that's wrap text in the little drop down, move with text and fix position on page we've seen. And there is even a box to bring another dialog box up, more layout options, that effectively allows you to control the same wrapping styles. But here is a quite useful bit, is the wrapping on both sides. If we just move across, you can see that because we've gone quite tight, it's wrapped on the right as well. Well, we could just say wrap on the left. Okay. And then it cannot push any text into there. So that's more options, text wrapping. And also the distance from the text is nothing on the top and bottom, so the text can get quite close there. But on the left and right, there's 0.13 of an inch, which means that that gap there must be 0.13 of an inch. See if we can get that a lot closer. And you can see the text now gets right up to the little wrap points. So that's all controllable by you on the wrap text drop-down ribbon. We control whether it's square, tight, through, top, bottom, behind, in front. We can even edit the wrap points, which if I now turn off, I cannot see them, but they have been edited. And then more layout options for those extra wrapping controls, or whether the text goes on the left or the right, or how close the text can actually get to the object. Probably gone a little bit too close there because it's starting to distract from the actual text. But you can do that with any of the drawn shapes. For example, we might want to put a little text box in. Insert, shapes, text box, draw our text box. Access is a great system. Let's push the font size up. We can rotate this text box. We can place that over here. At the moment it's still in front, don't forget that. That's its default. But then we can control that. Let's go square. Let's go quite tight actually. And then you've got this text box with the text on the side that will sit on the page with the text wrapping to it. And before you get as far as the wrap text, you can control where the item appears on the page firstly. And there are 9 choices: top left, middle top, top right, middle, middle middle, left middle, bottom left, bottom middle, bottom right. And that just places it quickly on the page for you to then decide where you're going to manually move it to, and then before you decide on your text wrapping options. So that's placing a drawn shape. Any of those drawn shapes will work fine into a document with text, and making the text work with the shape to wrap so that it obviously improves the appearance of the text, not distracts from it or overlays it or really destroys it.